has to wait.
Right? It's like a silent movie.
Now go sit down. Okay, hi, I'm Siobhan, and I'd like to share with you some information to help you change your inner dialogue and improve your life. Inner critics, we all have them. Those little voices in our head, they're constantly giving us all kinds of running commentary. But are you sabotaging your happiness? I have struggled with negative self-talk patterns, and I've found many ways to recognize and neutralize my own inner critic. I've done much research, and here are my findings. By becoming aware of and taking charge of our inner dialogue, we can achieve the many benefits of positive self-talk. Everyone struggles with these issues. It's very normal, but you can separate yourself from these negative thoughts, and there are many methods you can turn them around and combat them, and reap the benefits of more positive self-talk for yourself and for those around you. First, let's talk about why we have these negative thoughts. Negative self-talk is a normal part of everybody's inner dialogue. It's a part of evolution to seek out danger, and the inner critics are essentially there to protect you. Dr. Tina Hallis, founder of Positive Edge, says that the brain gets bored and starts looking for danger to look out for. A great example of this is when you're driving down the road on your way to work, you're going to notice all of the bad drivers. You're not going to look around and notice all the really good drivers on the road. Our brain's looking for danger, and it looks for something to watch out for and to be on alert to save yourself. Our ancestors walked through the woods, not looking for flowers and birds or all the other unthreatening things on their journey. They were looking for bears. This explains the brain's tendency to seek out the bad and the negative things that pose a threat. In order to keep you safe, your inner voices are supposed to warn you of risks and potential dangers. Amy E. Smith, certified coach of the Joy Junkie podcast, says that the inner voice is there to essentially keep you from taking chances that will lead to a negative outcome. It wants you to keep you safe and warm, and it has your best interests in mind. Your brain may be afraid that if you speak up at work, for example, you will lose your job and go hungry, or if you argue with your spouse that they might leave you. But the negative inner voice will translate that into something way more ominous. Like, no one wants to hear you, you have nothing to say anyway. Or, you're usually wrong, you're going to make a fool of yourself. Or, you'll end up alone and no one will ever want to be with you ever again. Because that gets your attention and you'll listen to that. In addition to being an evolutionary idea, according to Dr. Tina Hallis, there are other influences that make some people much more susceptible to negative self-talk that are way out of our control. For example, genetics. Some people are just naturally more negative, and they're prone to depression and anxiety as well. The other one is circumstances. Some people have just had different life experiences that shape the way that our brains perceive danger. In her article, It Happened to Me, Dr. Ruth Kanai talks about the experience of being sued for malpractice and how that changed her inner dialogue about her own abilities and the way she interacted with her patients. In an effort to protect herself from another really bad experience of being sued, she second-guessed herself repeatedly. She said, should I order more tests? I don't know anything. I should refer the patient out. I've been wrong before. What if it happens again? Maybe somebody else could handle this better than me. This is the inner critic trying to do good, but harming her in her career and her ability to serve her patients instead. Now that we understand the inner critic's place in our brains, how do we know it's not helping us? Despite our natural inclination towards negative self-talk, by becoming aware of these negative thoughts' impact on our actions and mood, we can implement strategies to turn them around. Your inner critic can be successfully neutralized by reframing or restating without emotional charge the message you're hearing. In Byron Katie's book, Loving What Is, she describes a technique called the 4 questions. Katie says that a thought is harmless until you believe it. In addressing a situation that's disturbing, make a statement and then ask yourself 4 questions. I have an example up here. Is my boss is driving me nuts. So that's the example I'm using. The first question is it true? Well, technically I'm not nuts, so I guess maybe not, but she's really, really driving me crazy. She's really bothering me with her bad communication skills. Then ask the second question. Can you absolutely know that it's true? Well, am I not? No, I'm aware of all my faculties, and I'm okay, and I am sane. So, I think that I'm not nuts. My boss is not technically driving me nuts. The third question is, how do you react when you think that thought? When I think the thought, my boss is driving me nuts, I get very anxious, I get angry, I become unsatisfied with what's going on at work, my blood pressure raises, and my cortisol levels increase. Number 4 is, who would you be without that thought? If I remove that thought, then I'm a person that's just relaxed and happy at work and more aware of what's going on around me and not distracted by these negative thoughts. At the end of this, answering all 4 questions, you follow it with a turnaround. So I turn around the phrase, my thinking about the way my boss communicates is driving me nuts. And I'm in control of my thinking, so I'm going to let that thought go. Amy Smith has a general way of neutralizing a gremlin, as she calls it. You don't have to turn all the way around to accomplish this. To use one of her examples, take the thought, I look terrible today. It might be too hard to go from, I look terrible today, to, I look beautiful every day. It would be easier to just neutralize that statement. I look like what I look like today, and that's okay. The positivity ratio is another strategy for handling your inner critic that increases positive self-talk. In her book, Positivity, by Barbara Fredrickson, she tells us about the positivity ratio, which is, I demonstrated here, positive thoughts divided by negative thoughts. A healthy ratio would be between 3 and 11, so 3 positive thoughts to 1 negative thought, up to 11 positive thoughts to a negative thought. The average American is at 2 positive thoughts to 1 negative thought. When you become aware of your negative thought or idea about something, counter it with at least 3 positive thoughts. We can do this in our interactions with friends and families and colleagues as well. Barbara Fredrickson also recommends a positivity journal or a gratitude journal. A lot of people do that as well to increase your positivity in your life. It's scientifically proven that changing your inner dialogue can improve your life and your impact on those around you. Change is possible. Dr. Richard Davidson at the University of Wisconsin-Madison studies attentional medicine. That's the heightened awareness or meta-awareness of thought, and it's proven with fMRIs that thought can change brainwave activity. According to Dr. Davidson, clinical studies show that the lack of ability to step back and observe one's own inner dialogue contributes to many issues like depression and anxiety. Dr. Davidson says that reappraisal is an important strategy to the regulation of emotion. Reappraisal activates brain regions, including the dorsomedial. Here's the brain. So the dorsomedial is up here. Dorsolateral and ventrolateral, prefrontal cortex. Then the posterior cortex. All those get activated in fMRIs when people are thinking. In the study of reappraisal, or as positive psychologists call it, reframing, both the subjects that are suffering social anxiety disorder and the healthy control subjects both experience benefits from the technique of reappraisal. In his book, The Happiness Advantage, Sean Achor states that our brains are hardwired to perform better when they are positive. He also discusses the idea of neuroplasticity. That's the ability of the brain to expand and grow precisely when faced with a problem or conundrum. Keeping a positive inner dialogue can help your brain solve problems. The benefits of becoming aware and turning around your negative self-talk will improve your life and those around you. Barbara Fredrickson lists the rewards of squashing your inner critic and focusing on positive self-talk. You will become better at making decisions. You'll be more motivated. You'll be more resilient to problems and issues as they arise, and you will bounce back faster, both physically and mentally. Emotional contagion. Sean Achor also discusses that the idea that you pick up on the emotions of the people around you is based on science. Mirror neurons in your brain reflect attitudes of people around you and affect your emotional state and adapt to that state. Imagine what your increased positivity could do for yourself and the people in your life. To recap what we have learned, by becoming aware and taking charge of our inner dialogue, we can achieve the many benefits of positive self-talk. Negative self-talk is a normal part of evolution to seek out the negative for self-preservation. But it's scientifically proven that despite your natural inclination towards negative self-talk, that by becoming aware of these negative thoughts' impact on our actions and mood, we can implement strategies to turn them around. You can take charge of the dialogue in your brain to improve your life at home and work and bring positivity to the lives around you. Thank you for listening.